Welcome back to Boruto Anime Review, episode 199. This is episode reviewing the 199th episode of the series, Overload. This adapts from the rest of chapter 33, and in the case 34, it goes to the first 9 pages of the chapter. Like, okay, that's interesting. Plus, they threw in some anime rental content here. Yes, I'd say the last, five... I actually don't think it was 5 minutes. I would say the last 10 minutes of the episode, a lot of it's all anime original content. So the thing starts off where we left off last, where Delta being mad at Kawanaki for basically ruining his arm, blocking that attack that would have killed Naruto and Himori. So then, of course, Naruto basically gets back into the fight, and it's a big humongous brawl. And then he does basically his Rasengan. He does a big Rasengan. Now, in the manga, when this last one is a super giant Rasengan, that's what he calls in the manga. In the anime, they changed the name of it. Yes. And basically, what he's doing is, he's trying to basically destroy Delta's eye, her absorbing eye. Well, because basically he reveals later on that she has a limit of how much chakra she can absorb into her body. And he uses a super massive Rasengan. In the manga, it's super giant. Here, it's super massive. Makes sense. It doesn't really affect anything here. Delta's eye is pretty much ruined. And then Naruto basically does another move that basically wrecks her. He pretty much does another Supermaster Rasengan sensor. Looks like to be about, about 10 feet down below ground, creating a big crater. And we see part of her clothing ruined. Mostly it's just basically her sleeves. From what I can tell, in case you're curious though, do they cover up any more skin than they do in the manga? No, not really. It's the same as in the manga. So basically, those of you basically curious, they don't really change this at all. It looks same as the manga. And of course, she's still kind of alive because Naruto wants to interrogate her. And of course, Kwanga is like, no, don't. We have to kill her right away. Why? Because she self-destructs. Lucky enough that Naruto simply saves everybody. And then Kashikoji basically basically commends Naruto basically being brave. Like a little about Kawanaki, and of course talk about Boruto. Now in the manga, that's where they left off for the adaptation content. The rest of this point forward, after that, is all anime original stuff. Yes, I would say that first bit took up the first 12, 13 minutes of the episode, and this last bit took up the last 10 minutes. Well, here's what happens. We cut to a village right after Delta's self-destruction. Oh, don't worry, she comes back later in some miraculous way. She comes back. So, we see that she's a mysterious village having sort of a breathing problem. Something wrong with the atmosphere around the village. Not sure what the heck caused this. Also, is it just me, or is that this guy who I think is with the village? He looks a lot like Lupin the Third. Yeah, he looks almost exactly like him. I would say he has the same face. And no, the woman is not Fujiko Mine. She looks nothing like her. Just the guy looks like Lupin. Except his sideburns are very much thinner. It's like the people who made this episode basically took the design of Lupin the Third, made him also. It's like they took his basic character design, his character model, just make him shorter, make his sideburns as flat as possible, and put him in different clothing. Yeah, when you look at this guy, he looks like Lupin the Third. And of course, everybody has trouble breathing, so they put on these handkerchiefs, mask. And of course, then Baro shows up and just cures everybody, kills the atmosphere. And of course, he says, "We'll help you. We should participate in something called Infinite Tasakiba." And I heard of oh crap, we're going through this again. Yes, if you watch Shippuden, basically you know what the heck this thing is. It's a massive hallucination. That's simply put what this guy is promising these people. Oh yeah, you want to go to a world where you don't have to wake up? It's a massive hallucination, puts everybody to sleep. Basically, Kara wants to recreate what was created by Kagura back in the Naruto Shippuden series. It's, oh yeah, you guys may remember this, you may not have memories, but like, maybe some of the older folks, like, if Naruto is like, no, not this bullcrap again. And then here's the thing. Then we cut to seeing, we cut to a couple different places here. First we cut to the headquarters. Well, first we cut to Baro's base, where he's like, well, did my job here and basically need to cool off. Then Code shows up and says, I have a message from Mono, you have to come in for maintenance. He's like, I'm busy. And then he basically makes a big fuss out of it, says bring him by force. And then eventually he agrees to go with him. We cut finally to the Kara HQ, where we see Armando had probably finished up his maintenance on Baro. And this kind of concludes that possibly Kashikoji might be the trade I'm looking for. That's what Joggin basically is thinking. And of course, apparently he's got his lifespan is not very much for longer. They hint at some later, and then that's the episode. I gotta admit, the car stuff is actually, well, the saving the village thing is okay. I think mentioning the infant Tasagima, I think that basically raised an eyebrow. But the whole thing with Baro is mostly not very interesting at all. Aside from his comment about that he wants to recreate the mass hallucination created by the Divine Tree back during the Fourth Ninja War. Yeah, apparently he wants to create that silly thing. That dumb thing. Yes. The jogging stuff is quite interesting. I gotta say, yeah, this little moment back at the Kara headquarters looks like a temple. Yeah, it looks like some temple someplace. In case you're curious, though, in the manga, do at any point they actually find what Kara's base is? No, because they say it's another dimension. They have trouble finding the damn thing, so they never found it. Which I would think, though, not much difficult to find the headquarters of Kara, especially since almost all the members are all dead. Yeah, almost all of them are gone. In the manga at this point, almost left are Code, Delta, who's incapacitated, and Kashikojin, who's actually defected. Well, technically, I have 2 people left, but they're building like a new car right now. Hopefully, something with Delta, because it always says she was incapacitated. She didn't say she was dead, she was incapacitated. She might be still unconscious at the car headquarters, who knows? It might explore at some later point. Yep. So, I think maybe next week I think I finished Daphne Book Chapter 34, but I do have a question, like, how much further are they going to go with adapting the manga? Because they're already up to Chapter 34 right now when it comes to for basically chapters to be adapted. And if you're curious, though, how many chapters are left to be adapted as of right now? It is roughly, like, with 33 finished adapting, it is roughly 25 chapters. That's how much is left. Yes, that's how much stuff they have left to go for adaptation. I'm not sure. Maybe out of next week they might put a halt on it, do some more original content just so the manga can catch up a little bit more. Yeah, it just depends. I highly doubt they can put the series in hiatus for a few months just because the manga, basically, they're not caught up to it yet. Yep, but I do love the fact that next week is going to be the 200th episode for the series, which is going to be great. Okay? So yeah, that's a particular view. Is there any more videos we plan for today, you might ask? Well, might be. Maybe if I get a chance to do it today, okay? See you next video. Bye.